I was very intrigued and interested in the past two action-packed chapters. I was on the edge of my seat throughout my entire time reading this. In this chapter, Mina visited Rainfield in the mental asylum. It seemed as though he was getting better and was no longer mentally ill. He stated that he only ate living creatures to gain more life and realized it wasn't normal. It was up to Dr. Seward to determine whether he was well again or just so insane that he could put on a fake front like a normal human. As a reader, I felt bad for Rainfield as he begged to be released from the asylum. Little did Seward know that Rainfield was begging for his life. This created some irony considering that as a reader, I suspected that Rainfield was doomed, whereas if Seward knew that Dracula would have gotten to Rainfield, perhaps he would have let him go from the mental asylum. I was also fascinated by the use of animals and creatures in these chapters. Whenever something bad is going to happen or Dracula is going to make an attack, a grotesque or scary creature is always present. For example, rats are oftentimes present in the entrance of Dracula, almost as if they lead the way and signify Dracula is going to make an appearance. I infer that certain animals are controlled by Dracula. Contributing to, the use of creatures is used when describing Dracula himself, since he has the capability of turning into a bat himself. Overall, chapters 18 through 19 were very informative. All of the characters were finally all aware of Dracula and the whole situation. It was both exciting and nerve-wracking trying to predict what would happen next. Supernatural and unnatural forms are used as well as psychological distress, not only throughout the entire book but especially in chapters 18 and 19. Firstly, the use of animals such as bats and dog-like rats is a perfect example of an unnatural form. Not to mention the eyes of living things who are controlled by Dracula turn red. Also, Mina is drugged in these chapters to help her sleep better and avoid the red-eye situation. Nothing about these chapters are in any way natural, as the characters are dealing with out-of-this-world situations. This entire book is an example of psychological distress. The concept of a vampire itself is literal insanity. The fact that a human of some sort lives and feeds off of other people's blood certainly displays a psychological issue. This is proof that something is psychologically wrong with them. The distress factor is also present because this person, a vampire, does not wish to be this way. They were bitten by another vampire and their soul is trapped. This is why vampires do not appear in the mirror, because their soul cannot be seen. Other than the obvious, there are countless other examples of psychological distress throughout the story, such as Lucy's nightmares and sleepwalking. Specifically to this chapter, there is a distress among all the characters who try to determine if Rainfield is still mentally ill. This takes an extra large toll on Dr. Seward, since he did not let Rainfield go and the decision was ultimately in his hands. Overall, psychological distress takes over the characters in this chapter as they stress about what to do next in their fight to end vampirism. Although this factor has a huge and negative toll on the characters, this is one of the first chapters that all the characters are aware of their circumstances. This narrative suggests that the human mind differs greatly from human to human or from human to monster. One of the main focuses of the past two chapters was Rainfield in the mental asylum. This poses the question, what defines somebody as normal? What makes somebody mentally ill? Rainfield was considered mentally ill because he was unlike the others and had some devious intentions earlier in the book. Before his death, he was the most normal he has ever been. Also, Dracula in his mind may be the normal for him, but is drastically different than everybody else's mind. Dracula's mind tells him he wants to drink people's blood. He can't help it. It's an addiction. What defines a normal mindset? This narrative suggests that the normal is different for everyone, and that what one's mind naturally wants is what they are going to pursue, no matter how devious or harmful this may be. This textual excerpt is immensely important to this chapter because it is describing Dracula and what will become of the humans if they are victimized and overtaken by this deadly creature. What this text is saying is that when you are bitten by Dracula, you do not die and you are not alive. You are taken over by a demonic being and your soul is never freed to eternal peace. Once one becomes a vampire, they no longer have a heart and a soul, and prey on the ones in which they love. The person they once were is gone.